hit the net though. Whoa. Oh my gosh, just tagging sidelines. Miles, one more, I'll give you $10. One more tag of the line right now, I will give you $10. It's not a bet because he doesn't pay me. It's Sam, so you give him $10. Don't. What a jerk!
Week 5 of the Progressive AVP League finds itself on the shores of Southern California. Welcome to Long Beach and Los Alamitos Beach. Having some fun here as we get set for the Miami Mayhem taking on the Dallas Dream. Women taking the court to get us started. It's Kraft and Cheng facing off against Kylie, Deberg, and Betsi, Flint. Two teams that are trying to find their way, sitting at 2-2 coming into Week 5. It's all about creating some space now into the second half of the season. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn as we take a look at the Miami Mayhem to start things off. Kraft, Cheng, 2-2. This is a team that has faced some of the top tier that the AVP League has to offer. That record, maybe not quite an indication of how good this team is.
Yeah, certainly not. They're one of the top teams on the AVP League, and I expect them to show their class here today in Long Beach as they did a week ago. You saw that result internationally, coming up just short to another AVP team, Cruz and Brasher.
Coming off one of their best international events, walking away with the silver as you look now to Kraft out of Southern California, San Diego to be specific, and the USC Trojan. She's a woman of Troy, as is her partner. 8 national titles combined between these two athletes, and they're 8 different national titles, which is wild to think about, as Cheng is soon to take the court out of Fullerton, California. She's the 6'1" blocker, and she brings plenty of ferocity. The 3-time All-American, 2-time Player of the Year from USC, and not to mention a 2-time Olympian. Cheng, a new partnership in 2026. The Dallas Dream, it's all about a new partnership, but some consummate professionals and veterans, especially when you look to Betsi, Flint. Now at 284, that's the lowest mark. This team needs to find offense.
Yeah, they certainly do. You know, it's just a matter of finding their rhythm, because they certainly have a lot of offensive potential. Again, they were in the field a week ago overseas as well and had quite a fine performance. So maybe they're starting to find a little bit of a groove as a team. We'll have to see. It's going to be a tough challenge today.
Kylie Deberg, one of the biggest blocks on the beach, standing at 6'4". She comes from the indoor side of the game, finding a new partnership, and it really has fueled her to a different level, allowing her to be free of mind and free of approach in terms of her gameplay, because Betsi, Flint, she just kind of cleans up everything else you need. She knows exactly what she needs to bring to the table to bring out the best in Kylie.
Well, yeah, I think that's, you know, what's so important in this team is Betsi's kind of that on-court mentor for Kylie. At 6'4", she can be extremely imposing, and sometimes we've seen sort of motivation be a little bit of an issue there, but not the case playing alongside the veteran Betsi, Flint.
For Deberg and Flint, they have had a win over Humana Paredes and Wilkerson. That was by way of an injury default to Melissa Humana Paredes in Week 3. Their other win came over Anderson and Chacon in Las Vegas. It was a 2-1 win. As Kraft gets us set. Long Beach is ready and rocking. Toughest server from a season ago, Kraft. Shifts to the left. Hands him a free ball. Flint in transition. Dialed.
And there's a little bit of that rhythm. You know, Kylie's such a threat to go on 2, kind of that option play for Dallas that, we're going to see some scrambling at the net. Kelly Cheng.
I'm Cameron Irwin. He's Rich Lamborn. Kevin Barnett will be joining us from the sand shortly. Slide serve. I'm somewhat accustomed to that in the AVP League, but it is unique.
It is unique. Yeah, it's Betsi's got one of the best serves on the AVP. She's a multiple-time best server on the AVP. So, you know, we talk about how important the service game is for every team that takes the sand, but it's going to be a big, big factor for Dallas.
Ripping through the option attack.
And that's one of the reasons that the service game is so important for both of these teams, because if you can't slow down that option attack, you're in for a long afternoon.
Talking to Flint, she knows exactly what her role is. Dig some balls and set up her partner on the option. And there's one pendant off. A little magic on the side of the Mayhem.
Yeah, Kelly Cheng, we talk about that option play and kind of have her holding the gold standard, right? The creativity and the variety of shots that she's capable of hitting. And that's one of them, just the underhand knuckle.
Great motion on that serve. We've got a good look at it as, again, there's plenty of shifting taking place on the defense. How would you describe the defensive system of the Miami Mayhem?
One blocker, one defender. No, they do a lot of kind of motion on defense. Kelly Cheng consults a lot with the great Jake Gibb about her blocking, right? So there's going to be a lot of show and take, a lot of baiting, a lot of deceptiveness, and then Meg is going to kind of work around that defensively.
And I asked too because they kind of bring in two different ways of playing defense, right? And their newer partnership, just Kelly Cheng and Megan Kraft. Kraft having been worked with Mike Playcheck out of San Diego. Bringing in a lot of new defensive play sets. As there's the transition ball.
A little loose on the interpretation of the hand setting there, but Miami will certainly take it. And they're starting to serve the ball very well, put some pressure on Dallas. Meg Kraft has got a tremendous serve. She's really capable of moving it around a lot. One of the things that she will employ is a short serve that looks like the driven float serve. And it's very, very effective. Right now it has them in a nice, comfortable lead early.
A 4-0 run for Cheng and Kraft, and you mentioned the service pressure of May Kraft. It's interesting too because maybe she's not up in terms of the total tally of aces in terms of the league mark or the high point. However, she does such a nice job trying to just even get the opponents off the net. Sometimes service pressure doesn't always look like aces, right?
Well, right, yeah. We talk about the concept of sustained pressure on your opponents, and that's not really something that we can stat on a sheet, right? We just have kind of the definitive plays, the blocks, the aces, but similarly, blocking, you don't necessarily have to have 20 blocks to be an effective blocker. If you're kind of channeling offensive players to your defender, that can be very effective and so forth. So I think Miami do a nice job of sustaining pressure on their opponents, whether it's the serve of Meg Kraft, the block of Kelly Cheng, the overall defense.
Yeah, Kelly Cheng at .36 aces per set. That's about the midpoint on the women's side. 5-3 as we check in with the two-time Olympian, Kevin Barnett.
Thanks, Cam. The message was pass and be patient from John Mayer down here, and also challenge the defense. And that's just another way to say hit the ball in. Sometimes things are real simple when it's not going your way. You just need to correct a couple of basic items to get back in a match or a set.
You mentioned John Mayer. He's down on the sand, the head coach for LMU, the beach program, but also former AVP pro in his own right.
Yeah, I like when he wrote the song Slow Dancing in the Burning Room.
I don't know if that's the same John Mayer.
Yeah, I think
we'll stick with that story. I like it.
Right now, I feel like Betsi is passing those tough serves extremely well. Yeah.
And a look to John Mayer.
John is kind of in that similar category to Taylor Crabb, diminutive athletes that are just phenomenal to watch. I mean, he was an opposite indoors at Pepperdine, if you can believe it, at 6'1", and a national champion at that role.
Along with 4 AVP titles in his career.
Another good pass from Betsi.
And speaking with Betsi, the #1 priority is kind of just improving upon that offensive efficiency. Her numbers are at the bottom of the women's side. However, this is a team that did pick up a win in Las Vegas, and she's starting to find her groove. Now mom of 2, she's just about 8 months out of having her, or excuse me, 15 months out of having her second child.
Yeah, Kev mentioned it. You know, Coach Mayer saying, you know, it's relatively simple sometimes when you're down what is missing, and right now Dallas just making a couple hitting errors that have themselves in a deficit. If they can clean up some of those mistakes, this is going to be a little bit more competitive here.
Forgive me, 9 months out for Betsi Flint, as there is another option taken.
Miami really leaning into that. Kylie Cheng extremely active on the options early in set 1.
5 swings for Kylie Cheng.
Well, there you go. Not even letting Meg take a swing.
Nope.
And
an ace.
The ace.
Yeah, that's super deceptive. I mean, anybody who hits that serve when it lands on the sideline, that's next to untouchable. But Kylie Cheng's kind of go-to swing is that one that comes across her body, so you're really not ready for that thumb down, you know, wrist away, whichever term you like.
It was a 4-1 run to start for the Miami Mayhem. Now on a 4-1 run, excuse me, 4-0 and 4-1. And a side out needed on the side of the Dallas Dream.
Yeah, needed, and that's a very high quality side out as well. Another tough serve from Cheng, and Kylie passed that very well out of the middle.
Right back to it. That's what we know Kylie Cheng for, just the wicked swing into the cross court.
Yeah, that's a really, really good side out, but I like the thought process from Dallas behind this. You know, Kelly's been eating them up on the option, so go to her. At least you can expect where the ball is coming from. She sides out very well, but strategically, it's good stuff from Dallas.
Tempo change, and she waited and baited. Kylie Cheng with the block.
Just like we were talking about, right? Very deceptive, kind of hanging low in that angle and then just jumping laterally to the line. Have a look. Last minute, taking that line away from Betsi Flint.
Just the 4th time Dallas has been blocked this year. They've stayed away from it. Deberg gets a piece of one. Popped back on one and right back to you. 13-6.
In the zone, flow state, whatever terminology you like, Cam, that is where Miami find themselves currently. Everything working for them.
Two away from the first, Miami.
And it is out of bounds, 7-13.
It's wild to see just how much action Kraft can get on that float serve. I know it's an error on that side, but got a great view of it from the end zone.
Yeah. It's nice to just watch it instead of have to try and receive it.
That's what I was thinking. I don't want to put a platform in front of that. Some side spin on that from Flint.
Meg hasn't gotten a whole lot of opportunities, but she's equal to the task there. That is a crisp cutting.
Mayhem in set number 1.
Crisp for the 23-year-old Kraft. One of the longest defenders you'll see on the women's side, standing at 6 feet tall. Mayhem now at a set point. Tough ball. Nobody home. One dig to another, and right back, Dallas stays alive.
Yeah, good scrambling effort there from Dallas. Because again, I mean, Miami just relentless defensively. And another tough serve from Kylie Cheng.
Out of system, but what a set. Becomes a joust and won by Kraft. The Miami Mayhem. You said flow state? I think that score indicates just that.
15-8. And again, I mean, Dallas made a couple of hitting mistakes that kind of opened up that lead for Miami, but then it was just all Miami defensively. Non-stop, sustained pressure on their opponents.
Miami looking to get above 500. They are off to a strong start after a set 1 victory. A substantial margin ending 9-4 on the run.
Music is going. You go around the chairs. When the music stops,
Each of our 8 teams fighting for that singular championship.
drafted by the NBA and came to the AVP.
Just take a look at this iconic field.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
We have a huge crowd, overflow capacity. Cameron, a lot of players and people have been waiting for this moment in this place.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
AVP Beach Volleyball is more than a sport. It's an experience. And for just $59 a year, AVP Gold membership gives you all access. Ticket discounts all season, early access to seats, compete in AVP events, and big savings on pro gear. Get in the game and experience everything the AVP has to offer. Get your Gold membership today at avp.com.
The Miami Mayhem red hot after set 1 as you look to the women's standings. Again, the top 6 teams making it to the Chicago Championships. That's your pairs record. And right now you have Cheng and Kraft sitting at 2-2. 4 teams came into week 5 on the women's side, all sitting at 2-2 and all in action here in Long Beach. But Cheng and Kraft, they're trying to inch their way up. Could they meet that of Humana Paredes and Wilkerson?
Yeah, you never want to leave it to the math. And speaking of math, I'm going to have to talk to our statisticians later about 2 and 3 being 500.
You know, sometimes we make some errors. All I have to say is a calculator is a good friend of mine as you look to the set 1 stats.
I mean, 900. I don't know that we've ever seen a number like that. Unbelievable stuff from Miami, yeah. And the lion's share of that was Kylie Cheng. Very, very proactive in the option game.
Yeah, and you make a great point, actually. That is interesting. We've seen maybe players go errorless, and that's a mark in itself. But to see 2 partners go and find a 900% hitting percentage is just, that is the definition of flow state.
Even when you go errorless, very often you're going to be below 900, right?
Correct.
You're going to have just some zeros on the card. Kylie Cheng putting away everything. Look at that. Again, the show and take. That left hand dropping into the line last minute. Perfect beach block timing from Kylie Cheng.
We talked to Kylie Cheng this week about her blocking. She said sometimes the match calls for a lot of blocks. Sometimes it calls for a lot of me pulling off the net and finding digs. Right now she's doing some work up at the net, finding several cons. Athleticism on my side.
Now you're an athletic supporter, Cam.
I am. I think that means I'm officially a fan. That ball just inches away from the height of the net on the serve from Cheng. Kraft from the right. Another dig, shading to the right side. Just so clean. So much power in transition from Kraft. The mentality she's looking for, we heard this week, is that she wants to hunt, and I love that.
About the defense of Kraft and Cheng, you see a lot of crisscrossing on the drops. That makes it so hard for offensive players to know where the soft spots are. Oh.
Cheng just not able to find her footing there. Coming back down off the block. It's maybe one of the less talked about skills in beach volleyball. Blockers having to come down, find a dig, and then transition set.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you turn around and have to locate a ball just in the abyss, as it were.
Speaking of abyss, that ball gone. The heel of the hand.
Just a little slither like her teammate T. Krabs underneath the block.
Yeah, well, she does now.
It's a new shot for Kelly Cheng. I don't know if I've seen that one from her.
Yeah, especially away from the body, not her kind of, oh, look at that slider.
How much would you say that ball just tracked left to right, right to left?
Well, it's what's so great about this serve. Watch, Meg is moving left. That ball's tailing right. I mean, at least a good 6 to 8 feet, you would have to think.
So you envision that ball's actually going to go to the left side of the court, but all of a sudden she cuts it back to the right. She tries to go for it again, but so many different ways you can attack that service line, like we talked about with them early in set one.
Yeah, I think too often, you know, when we play beach volleyball, we think, hey, we want to go after the left-sider, let's say, hypothetically. There's a good serve from Dallas. Get back close. But what that tends to translate to is you serve it right to that player that you're trying to attack. And really, Meg is doing a tremendous job right now of serving away from her target, as it were, trying to serve it to some space.
Speaking of serving right to the left-sider, transition set, not where they want it on the side of Mayhem. Kevin, what's going on?
Yeah, Dallas with a little bit of life here, but I talked to Jordan Cheng about Miami and said, when things are going as well as they went that first set, how do you talk to your team? What do you focus in on? He talked about the nuance. He said, look, we want to get on the option a little bit more from Kylie, which they had done. They want to work on their service game, and they want to dial in a couple little small things. They said the service was working, but you don't want to get too patterned in your service. You don't want to let the other team adjust and sort of lay in that. So started to look for some other little places to send some balls down a line or into an area that you hadn't served yet in the match.
Yeah, you make a great point, and May Kraft has said that too. She calls it almost a serving progression, and we've seen it detailed from so many different athletes, and they have different progressions, right? And this one right now working in the favor of May Kraft and Kelly Cheng.
Yeah, nice little cut shot there, fall away from Kylie. Yeah, to your point, Cam, you know, the great Tyler Hildebrand, who was kind of my coaching mentor, would talk about middle sideline as kind of a progression, right? You kind of hammer a team one spot, try and keep them honest by going away from that spot, and then you go back to it. Meg has a little bit of topspin going on the sets today. I'm not sure what's going on there. Usually very sure-handed.
A little spin on that one. A no call. Kevin mentioning Jordan Cheng, coach to the Miami Mayhem, as well as husband to Kelly Cheng.
Kelly out of bounds line.
And the error on that side.
It's going to tragically drop her to about 810 hitting efficiency.
Actually, how about 750?
750, oh, that's...
Do you see that math? I wish I could say I did that in my head.
Oh, nice.
And right back again, it's the option. Hanging that one up, a little gooseneck left it up there.
I know, I like you leave it up. Little Wesley Snipes from White Men Can't Jump style, just leave it up there.
Kelly Cheng already in double-digit territory with the kills. That's her 11th, just one error. Kraft on the other side, just 4 total attempts. As you see Jordan Cheng. And talking to Kelly, she said it feels like we've been married already for 10 years. It's only been 4, and she said it's been just that good.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yes.
All right.
No, it just feels like they've lived a lot of life together and just so much growth. And she's had so many different partners even in the last 3 seasons as well. And that means that Jordan Cheng has also learned to coach so many different athletes as an ace comes on their side of the net. Double digits on the score.
Back to back, yeah. Her third. Maybe that's another thing that she's picking up from Jake Gibb, who loved to go around the world, get one in the middle, one to the sideline. We got a timeout here, but when we come out, let's see if she goes to the other sideline, and we'll definitely know it's a nod to Jake.
Do you know, Kelly?
Again, going back to those service progressions, that's a different one. You mentioned one from Tyler Hildebrand, one from Jake Gibb. You also think of April Ross. She always went 1, 2, 3 as well with that top spin jump serve. Kelly Cheng has been somewhat of a pioneer in terms of her service pressure. I think back to her time at USC, and she kind of worked with that hybrid serve, tossing with 2 hands and still adding whether it's half float, half top spin, but just a different approach. As we look back to the back-to-back aces for Kelly Cheng, now she tosses with 1 hand and just unloads one right through the middle. And now, back to the sideline.
Yeah, right in the corner. She has had some extra oomph on just about everything she's swinging at today.
11 kills, 2 blocks, 3 aces, hitting .769. That's a heck of a stat line if I've ever seen one. Kevin asked her about her blocks, and she's got 2 already, so I think that might be why.
Yeah.
This week. She was like, you know, some matches call for him. Some matches just, you know, I'm pulling off the net and playing defense. Some people want to shoot around my block a ton. Always challenging the mentality of those blockers. I think about Brandy Wilkerson in that same degree. Oftentimes, so many teams now just trying to shoot around the edges of that block. Like that swing from Betsi Flint.
A good aggressive cut. Another good serve out of the timeout, but handled well by Dallas this time.
Dallas Stream needing to make a move. Is it in? It is. Kylie Deberg points the finger to the sand, saying that's right in the corner pocket.
Yeah, Kelly tucked one in the corner. Kylie tucked one in the corner. These are untouchable.
2 straight out of the timeout.
That's not how you want to follow up an ace, though, however.
We got our Waterloos in the crowd. We got coconut lime cooler, apple pie on the mode, root beer float.
Deberg and Flint. Now on the side out, ball completely shanked. They got to find something here. Kraft loves to attack the block.
Yeah, great tomahawk control from Meg Kraft in the backcourt. You talked about her length defensively, and she's locked in and getting digs. She's so devastating in transition at turning those digs into scoring opportunities and points on the board.
Another move from Flint. This time she actually attacks from the opposite side. A lot of different tempos we're seeing from her as well.
Yeah, it's a good strategy, especially when you don't necessarily feel comfortable. Kelly's got her pretty dialed in at the net, so you've got to have some movement in your offense. Try and stress the blocker a little bit. And again, it's the mistakes on the side of Dallas that are hurting them, whether it be hitting errors, the last couple service errors. You're in that weird position where you need to press to try and get out of the hole, but you can't make mistakes.
Especially not late. Another ripper through the middle. Side set her partner, open net, and that ball is straight bounced for Megan Kraft.
The very quiet and reserved Megan Kraft was anything but right there, just teeing off with a little highlight reel bounce.
That's a Hulk smash if I've ever seen one. Bringing us to a match point.
Just out of bounds long, thought she had it.
Just long.
It's 11-14.
Dallas has had back-to-back missed serves. Can't afford one here. Kraft out of the middle. Beautiful recycle, and her partner gets it done. An emphatic win, 15-8, 15-11.
Yeah, just in control the whole time. Takes them to 3-2, or as our stat guy likes to say, 500.
Let me get a round of applause for all 4 of our athletes: Betsi, Kylie, Megan, and Kelly.
Yeah, just phenomenal in all aspects of the game there from the Miami Mayhem.
4 of whom we will see tomorrow.
A look back to match point. The Miami Mayhem came to play. Even when things maybe not going their direction on that first contact, they're able to better the ball and find another controlled play to close out.
Absolutely.
For our first of 4 matches, we got one more.
Let's check in now with Kevin Barnett and our winners.
An emphatic victory for Miami. Meg, we'll start with you. You guys have found another gear in the last couple of weeks. What's clicked?
Oh, man, just a lot of trust in the team, trying to find our brand of volleyball and show up that way, even if it doesn't feel good. So trying to find it, pushing to find it, and it feels good when we find it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we talked to Kelly about kind of your communication off the court and some of that being cathartic. How do you feel that's shown up?
Yeah, it's Kelly is one of my very good friends now. I feel like we get along really well off the court. So so it makes it easy to talk about things and bring it onto the court, and it's fun to play with somebody you enjoy playing with. So I think the team culture and team environment we built has been really cool.
Yeah, building that as part of the veteran part of the group here. Kelly, a different role for you now here.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, Meg doesn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like we are the same age. I forget a lot that she's 23 and I'm 30. So this girl's very mature for her age, and I feel very lucky to be playing with her. Yeah, we're just trying to find joy and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. Rich
and Cam, we're talking a lot about the service game. We've talked about your service strategy. Tell us about what worked in this one. You're moving it around quite a bit.
Yeah, fighting to find space, especially against a team that passes really well and can option. I think the best way to break down an option team is serve really tough. And we did that today, so it was awesome.
All right, congratulations on the victory. Miami Mayhem making a move.
Making a move above 500. 3-2, the Miami Mayhem could be one of the most exciting teams to watch close out the 2026 AVP League, because they're only going to get better. They face some of the top-tier competition to start the season, but right now, if they play like that, it's going to be hard to stop them.
And they are coming into their own, absolutely. I mean, how handsome did Kevin look in those shades?
Oh, yeah.
The Miami Mayhem, 15-8, 15-11. For Kevin Barnett, Rich Lamborn, I'm Cameron Owen. Thanks so much for joining us here with the Progressive AVP League.
All four